Hello, Emma here from Team Living Your Dream. And today in the Success Progress exercise, we're going to be talking about goal mountain, or we're actually going to be going through the steps needed to develop your own goal mountain. So what is a goal mountain? Well, I tend to think of rising up the levels of success like climbing up a mountain. You know, you stand at the bottom and you look up at the top of where you want to go. And, at first that you think, how am I ever going to get up there? But you want to get to the top. And so becoming more successful than you have ever been before can be like climbing the mountain. You think, oh, that's impossible to get to the top. But you can't afford to think negatively like that. You need to think of it in terms like, I want to get up there. I've never been up there before, so I've got to work out how. And that's why I think of it like a mountain. I've done a lot of, not necessarily mountain climbing, I've done a lot of trekking in the Himalayas in my past. And, when you do look at it in the distance to the next level, it does look a long way off. But you know what? You always get there quicker than you think you're going to. So what happens in the goal mountain or success mountain, at each level you need to work out what to do to climb higher. You get to these levels or plateaus and you can see the next level, but you don't know what it is, what you've got to do to get there. So part of doing this goal mountain is about working out those levels and what you need to do. And at the same time, when you're working out what you need to do to climb higher, it's working out for yourself what new equipment, skills and resources, both internal resources and external resources, you're going to need to get to that next level. So, and yet just before I move on, it's, what we work out now and why we do this is working out what is over that next ridge. What are you going to find at the next level that will keep you going, that is going to motivate you enough to get you over that ridge, so that you work out what it is you need to do. What is your why? What is going to get you down there, up there? Now, instead of looking at it as one big thing, the goal mountain is about breaking it down. You may have a huge goal at the top of the mountain, like, I don't know, ultimate freedom for your family, or you may have the goal of $1 million mansion, or I don't know, some other goal. But there's steps on the way that need to be completed. So that's what we're going to look like. So what does your goal mountain look like? Well, first of all, I want you to do is to draw out the steps. There are actually five levels. I know it looks like 4. You'll see as we go through why that's 5 and not 4. But actually draw this up. And so draw it like a set of steps or going up a mountain. And the first thing that we're going to work out is the goal level. Now, this is based on mine that I did a couple of years ago, or before I got into this business. So, yours will be different, but to just give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, so, becoming full-time self-employed, for me, my first goal, to be able to do that and to be able to work for myself, was to be able to consistently earn a sustainable income. Okay, now that was important. When I was doing that, when I had done that, then I wanted to pay off my credit cards and loans, in the process of starting up. When I started this, I didn't have the money to go all in. I didn't have thousands of pounds lying around. In fact, I had no money at all. So what I did initially to support what I was doing, to be able to go all in, to be able to get the resources that I needed to, is I I put it on a credit card, and the other things that I needed to invest in, I put them all on credit cards, and I got a loan so I could support my business and invest in my business. So of course, at some point, that was one of my first goals, was to pay off, to get back to a level playing field, and to pay off those loans and credit cards that I had used to invest in my business. And I wanted it was important to me to get debt free again. My next goal after that, actually, I am between those two goals at the moment as we speak. But my next goal that I'm working towards is buying a 43-foot yacht. Now, what I want you to do when you're going through this and doing yours on each part of the goal is to actually put yourself in the moment in that goal. Sit and with your eyes closed, or whatever you feel more comfortable doing, and sit and imagine you are actually in that space. So for me, when I was doing this exercise a couple of years ago, I sat and I thought, okay, what does it feel like to have actually paid off those debts? And I imagined it in my mind, seeing zeros on my credit card statements, looking at my online loan accounts at zero, and what did I actually feel? And I sat there and I felt the feelings. I felt the relief and the elation and the pride at having paid off those debts, and doing it within the time frame. So, imagine if it hasn't happened for you yet, imagine what that's going to be like, which is what I did. At the moment, I'm imagining my boat. I am looking at online boating magazines and yacht brokers, and I'm looking at all the things I want. I go to the boat shows, but I'm imagining myself stepping onto my boat and sitting down on it, and for the first time going down into the cockpit, casting off and going out to sea in it, and just sitting there in the sea with my friends and people I know that sail, and taking the boat out with them, and imagining sitting in the sunshine and pottering around the island that I live on. So I'm doing all that at the moment. So put yourself in that. Take time to work out what your goals are and what these milestones are for you. My next goal after that is to move my parents into a paid-for house that they can enjoy in their old age, that's suitable for them. They don't have that at the moment, and they don't actually have. They're getting quite elderly, and they don't actually have a particularly secure place to live. So it's on my goal that I want to be able to do that for them, and be able to buy that house for them so it's completely secure, so they will never have to move, and it's a place that's suitable for them. They're not able to do that themselves, and so that's on my goal, and that's important to me to be able to do that. Now, some of you may think, okay, well, why are you buying a yacht first or doing that? Everybody has their own reasons for doing things in their order, and that's important when you're going through and doing this. This is nobody else's I'm sharing with you my goals, but it is nobody else's expectation, nobody else's judgment, and it shouldn't be for you either. You will know what is going to motivate you, in what order, and what motivates you first. And so do this for you. If you don't want to ever share it with anybody, don't. It's fine. But that's what is absolutely vital. You're doing this for you and what you want to do. You're not doing what you think somebody else thinks you should do. Okay? Now, I'm doing things for and I'm sure you will want to do things for other people as you're doing that. But it's the actual principle of when you do that, how you do that. You've got to decide what's best for you. Nobody else can tell you your best way of working or what your priorities are, because it would be false. Okay? So after that, here comes my beachfront house, somewhere in the world. I haven't worked that bit out yet, and that will come over time. I might even find out my where in the world when I buy my yacht and start sailing around the world. But that is one thing that I want, is a beachfront house somewhere. And then at the moment, at the top of my goal mountain is this. Again, this is just something I want to do. This isn't right or wrong for anybody else. My background is in hypnotherapy and in mindset. And I also, until a few years ago, I was a foster carer for teenagers. So I came across a lot of disadvantaged teenagers. I was closely involved with the social care system in the UK. And the one thing that made a massive difference to the teenagers that came to me was mindset. When they came, they would all be very negative. Understandably, they'd been brought up in that environment. They had been taught that all their life and lived with it all their life. And so they didn't know anything else. It's just what they knew. And when they came to live with me, especially when they came alongside other kids that had already been there for a while, they learned to think in a different way. And that's one thing that I would like to expand and do, is to set up a mindset foundation for disadvantaged teenagers to help them get on a better path in their life. But there we go. Those are my goals. What's right for me isn't necessarily right for anybody else. In fact, I don't know anybody else who would go with these goals, apart from perhaps the first two. And that's why you need to sit down and work out. And when you're actually working out what your goals are, try to do some brainstorming. Just get a massive piece of paper, because when I did this exercise, and I do this regularly actually, the goals change and new things come to mind. It's not until you sit down and focus on it that things pop up all over the place. And are they big enough and important enough to get on your goal mountain? So there's one. So when you've done that, that's the top tier. Your next step is to put a value on it. How much do you need to be able to achieve that goal? So for me, that consistent, sustainable income was $2,000 a month. Now, I live on a little island in the Mediterranean, so actually that's a very good lifestyle and very good income living here. But I don't have children and whatever. So, but it's what's right for you. And now, I'm not talking here about what you would like to earn, but I'm talking here about, well, for me, this consistent, sustainable income might not be even on your goals, but for me, that's what was realistic for me and what I wanted to start earning per month before I started focusing on my next goal, before I got up to the next level. And then, as you can see, then I needed 50 grand to pay off my credit cards and loans. That's how much debt I had amassed. A yacht, 100,000 will buy me the sort of yacht that I want. I'm not going for a brand new $1.5 million yacht or $3 million yacht. That's exactly what I want. That's my level that I want. So that's how much I'm working towards accumulating at the moment to buy my yacht. To be able to move my parents into a paid-for house of the sort of size that they would need, where they want it and everything, is going to cost about 400,000. So that is my next step. Once I've got my yacht, that's my next goal. My beachfront house. Now, my beachfront house isn't going to be on a beach in California or Saint-Tropez or even Brighton in the south of England. I know already, I don't know exactly where it's going to be, but I know already it will be somewhere quite remote and obscure. So I'm looking at about $1 million. Now, that could change on the way, but that's at the moment, it's the sort of level that I've been looking at. And to set up my mindset foundation, I reckon I only need about 250,000 to do that. But the reason it's at the top, not because it's the biggest amount, is because it is the goal that I want to achieve after I have done the others. Okay, so there we've got our goals, and then I've attached a value to each one of those goals so I know what I'm working towards next. The next is when. When do I want to achieve these things by? Like I did that by July 2015. I started with Empower in March, but I didn't properly get going until April because those things went on to do it with sailing at the time. So I wanted to be able to do that by July 2015. Paying off my credit cards and loans happened in December. My yacht is going to happen this year. Okay, so I have put a time scale on it. Now, these things are important. You know, putting a future time scale on it is important because it focuses your mind. And what I would say is think of when you want to do that by, then bring it forward 6 months or a year. You will be surprised. You will achieve these things a lot quicker than right now you think you're going to. I proved this to myself when I was training as a hypnotherapist. I mean, this is to cut a long story short. One of the first exercises we had to do was in a visualization, and I didn't know anything about this then, but we had to visualize ourselves in the future. Everything is exactly as you want it to be, and the words in the guided visionary were: see it, feel it, think it, and believe it. And what popped into my mind was the image of me standing by a car, which was a grey Audi TT, dolphin grey Audi TT. I don't know if you know that car, but it's a little Audi sports car. Now, I'd wanted one for years, but I hadn't actually focused on it. It, for some reason, just popped into my head. I was standing beside this car. And I was thinking about it afterwards, and I thought to myself, right, I'm going to get that within 2 years. I had that car within 6 months, the exact car, brand new. I walked into a showroom and bought it. So it shows just the power of the mind, and also how things will happen a lot quicker than you think they're going to once you get focused and you're going in that direction. So, moving my parents into a paid-for house. That is going to happen by the 8th of December. In fact, I'm hoping it's going to be on the 8th of September 2017, because that's my mum's birthday, the 8th of September. So I would love to be able to hand the keys over to them and move them in on the 8th of September. So that's next year. And buying my beachfront house, the 8th of December 2018, just over a year after that. Again, the 8th of December is my birthday. So I want to be able to be walking into my house on my birthday. And that's what I imagine. And setting up this mindset foundation, I want to be doing that shortly after that, actually. I'm going to be doing that in April 2019. Once I have achieved my beachfront house, my $1 million beachfront house that I'm going to walk into on the 8th of December 2018, I'm going to need a new focus and a new project to do. And so I want to be able to, I want to start working on that then. So how are you going to do these things? Okay, now the how comes in yourself. Okay, so my how I needed to go from $0 to $2,000 a month in a few months. I needed to learn. I needed to do a lot of self-development. I needed to learn exactly what to do. So it was a lot of training, a lot of self-development to do that. How I was going to start earning to get up to 50 grand a month. I needed to become better. I know that I needed to become better at social media. It was one of my weak areas. social media marketing, just the actual, the interacting with people. It was a weakness of mine, and I needed to get better at it. How am I going to be earning that 100,000? I need to improve my team building skills. Again, it comes on with the social media. Building relationships. I can be quite a solitary person at times. I quite sorry, it's not the right word. Independent is the word that I would use to describe myself. I'm quite an independent person. I carry on. I walk to my own tune, and I like my independence. So building a team and working within a team like that is something that I need to continually focus and improve on, and I know that about myself. Okay, how am I going to get up to 400,000 so that I can buy my parents' paid-for house by the 8th of September 2017? I need to be around success more. I love the island I work on, and live on rather, but I don't mix and socialise with people who are highly successful. Lovely people, have their own success in life, but not at the level I want to be at. And I need to be around that more. At the moment, I do that a lot online, and I do all things like I listen to the Inner Circle audios every day, and I associate online with people who are achieving extraordinary success in their lives. But I actually want to put myself amongst that. I know that I need to put myself amongst that more and better. So how am I going to achieve this 1 million? Increase my team support, my personal team support, do more outsourcing. I cannot do that on my own. I need a team around me. So I know I need to do that. I need to up my level of team support, as in my people that I work with, in order to do that. Now, I didn't do that. Research is what I need to do before I set up the mindset foundation. How I'm going to do that is I need to research it first. I mean, it's a long way in the future, and I'm not there, and I'm not ready to focus on it. So I've put down there research. And now the next level, the 5th level at the bottom, is what needs to change in order to be achieving these levels of the mountain. And this is personal change. This is changing yourself. One thing that you must always bear in mind and remember is that you cannot control and change other things and other people around you, but you can always change how you're behaving and what you're doing, and change within yourself. We all have the power to change ourselves. We all have the power to change our mindset. We all have the power to change our circumstances. And it's our responsibility to affect that change if something isn't working as you want it. If circumstances or anything in your life isn't as you want it to, it is up to you to change something within yourself to make that happen. It is not for you to change or to try and control other things. So bearing that in mind, my self-discipline, what I needed to do, what needed to change in me is I needed to become more disciplined and more time focused. And also I needed to eliminate some of the negativity in my life. My background is mindset changing, so I understand very well the power of positive mind. But still there was negativity around me, and in other things, and also there was some self-doubt going on back then. And I remember it now. I know what I wanted, but I didn't truly believe that I could get it. And I needed to change that, and I needed to eliminate those little nagging negatives in the background of my mind. So I needed to work on that, and that was, again, part of my self-development. So what needed for me to change in me to pay off those credit cards and loans and to become better at social media, I needed to become more people orientated. Like I was saying, I was independent, I'm quite an independent person. And so the sitting down and interacting with people on social media, it took discipline and effort from me. And, although when I was doing it, I really enjoyed it, it was just the effort of doing it. And I needed to become better at that, become more people orientated. And that was a change within me. The next step, how to get to the next level. Self-awareness, actually. Recognize my own weaknesses and become self-aware. Stop kidding myself that I was good at things I wasn't. And, if necessary, don't try and do everything. Outsource, buy in the skills and resources for those areas that are your weaknesses. Everybody has weaknesses. It is no shame to have weaknesses, and it's certainly no shame or no weakness to admit it. It's recognizing those areas, being aware of what needs to improve allows you to do something about it. If you've got your head buried in the sand, or you've got some arrogant opinion of your own skills and abilities, then you're never going to do anything about it and nothing's ever going to change. It's having the courage to put your head up above the parapet or get it out the sand and go, okay, this is what I need to address. It's not only am I not good at that, I'm no good at it because I don't like it. So get somebody else in to do it. Stop banging your head against that brick wall. Find another way. And it's only by being self-aware that you can do that. And the next goal about how I was going to get to the 400,000 to be able to move in with my move my parents into a paid-for house and spend more time around success. I know that I need to move somewhere that is more aligned with my goals, and I know that it needs to change sometime this year to make that happen. So that's something that I'm prepared to do. It's a change that I know I need to do. Oops, going the wrong way again. And to get up to that beachfront house, that $1 million beachfront house that I'm going to move into on my birthday in 2018, that I know that I need to increase team support and outsource to do, is what needs to change in me is that I need to become a better leader and less of a control freak. I need to recognise that I can't do it all myself and to let go. And there's people who know a lot of aspects of this better than I do. So let them get on with it. Let them lead that. Just be a leader and not a control freak. And in order to get up to my ultimate goal of the moment, the mindset foundation is to stay focused and remember the why. Remember the why I'm doing this. And for me, that's quite important, because if you look at the red zone, then my red zone is my danger zone. I'm really confident that I will get to the 8th of September 2017, get that house from my parents. I'm really confident that I know I'll get there, I can do it. But I also know, going in with this self-awareness, I know that after about 2 years, I start getting restless. I start losing my focus. New bright shiny objects start attracting me in different directions, excitement and fun. So the red zone for me here is me being aware that this is going to be my danger point in this area, that doing something for me like this, although I know that's what I want, it's going to be a danger zone, because I can convince myself that there are other things I want to do for me that are off in another direction. And actually, I know that I'll come to this. I know this is a goal right now. So just highlighting to me that that's my danger zone, and I need to work out a way of working through that. And you will have things for you too. You will, if you sit and be honest with yourself, you will know what tends to go wrong for you. Now, you don't necessarily know how to fix it now. I mean, if you knew how to fix it, you wouldn't be doing it. You wouldn't keep following those same patterns of behavior, going through the same thing again and again in the same cycles of behavior. But if you're aware that there is a cycle of behavior, you can work on changing that cycle of behavior. Remember, it is always in your power to change yourself. And the first thing of change is to become self-aware of what happens. And then you can seek out help to change if necessary, and help to stay focused, as long as you're aware of where that needs to come. So I just wanted to highlight that as achieving that is my danger point. Not because I can't achieve it, it's because I'll get distracted by bright, shiny, exciting things in the meantime. But I really, these are my passionate goals at the moment. So I am determined to stay focused, to get there. And it's just being aware that I need to do something in the meantime. So this is your goal mountain. This is how to do it. As I said, this is based on me and what I've done and what I'm doing and where I'm going. Do this for yourself. It is a very, very powerful exercise. Not only does it help you focus, it helps you break that down into little chunks of actually what you need to do to get there, and what you need to change, how you're going to do it, what you need to change in yourself, what you need to learn, where you need to develop, what needs to change about your modus operandi. And I mean, one thing, what I know now has got me stuck in the past is doing everything myself. I discovered outsourcing a while ago. Why didn't I know that about that years ago? And I would have, when I had my one of my last companies, the handbag company that I worked with disadvantaged women in Nepal to make handbags, and then I imported them back to the UK and distributed them. I had a warehouse, I had staff. If only I'd known about outsourcing then, I would have saved so much money, become so much more efficient, and it would have been much more successful. I mean, there's obviously no point going back now and saying, oh, I wish this had happened and that had happened. But what I'm saying is learn what needs to change. Now, I needed to drop trying to do everything myself, do some research and find out what else was out there. If I had stopped for a moment and done some research, talked to people, been honest with people about I was struggling and this was why, somebody could have given me the answer in an instant. But I didn't do that. I kept it all to myself because I didn't want to admit my weaknesses to myself or to anybody else. And that's something that has changed in me in the last few years. That's why we keep developing and we keep working out what has to happen. A word about your goal mountain. It can change. Goals do change along the way. There's going to be things there that are for you, in your mind, absolutely set in stone, that you are going to achieve whatever, come rain, come shine, you're going to do it. But other things might well change. So allow the flexibility in there. And also, the how and what needs to change in you will probably change. You will probably go back and revise that. So, in summary, think big. If you are thinking in terms of, let's put a figure on it. You need $100,000 by the end of the year. Put a note on it. If you don't hit the million, then I bet you got an awful lot further than 100,000 if you're aiming for a million. But if you aim for 100,000 and you don't hit it, you might get 80, 90. So aim big, think for much more than you believe you're possible of doing yourself, achieving yourself right now. Because I bet you are capable of achieving way more than you think you can. But it all starts in the mind. You have to start thinking big in order to be working out, behaving, and taking action and doing the things that is going to get you there. If you don't, you will never get there. So think big. Be honest with yourself about what needs to change, your self-development. Fess up. Take a deep look inside yourself. If something isn't working as you want it to at the moment, stop blaming other people, circumstances, your work, the boss, things at home, the economy. Stop blaming everything else. If something needs to change, it needs to change within you. And that's when you need to take a step back and take a long, hard look at yourself. The only way you are going to make progress, the only way you're going to achieve success in your life is by changing yourself, nothing else. Changing, finding out what needs to change in you and working on it. Learning. We can all learn. Use your imagination to the benefit. Be in the goal. Sit and imagine yourself doing those things that you want to, being in those places that you want to, having the things you want to. Actually, daydream. Daydreaming is really good for you. It sets parameters in your brain that set you off on a path. The only thing you've got to do is believe it is possible. Think big and use your imagination, and it will bring you the things you want to. So that's it on the Goal Mountain for today. Go and do that exercise. It will help you focus. It will make a difference. And keep going through it. Every 3-6 months or whatever, go through it again and revise it up. And I absolutely bet you that the first time you do it, you won't be ambitious enough. You won't think big enough. When you come back to do it again, 6 months later, you will be thinking much bigger. Your goals will have changed and they will have scaled up. So go with it. That's a good thing. So connect with me. I'm Emma Triplett from Team Living Your Dream. Connect with me on Facebook. That's facebook.com/emma.teamlivingyourdream. Or email me. If you've got any questions, just feel free to email me. I am a real person and I am here. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's lots of this stuff coming. If you've enjoyed this today, subscribe and you will be able to tune in to the exercises I've got coming up, the mindset training, and the practical how to market on the internet training I'm doing. And if you want more information about how you can change your life and live your dreams, how you can take control, click the link below and you will get some more information about what I do, exactly how I learn my living, and how you can join my team. So that's it. I've been Emma Triplett. Until the next time, take care, and I'll see you on the beaches of the world.